Okay. All right.
You're gonna leave Jonathan in charge, Mom? That's you can't leave Jonathan in charge. Somebody gonna burn the kitchen
That's
down.
right. I almost burnt my kitchen. I almost burnt my parents' kitchen down
Oh,
for
really?
real one time. Yeah, I did. So don't say that, Gerard.
Well,
Hey,
then,
that's a requirement.
by
How many
those
times?
standards, I can never be in charge.
Come
Yeah. I need a lot of
Yeah.
adult supervision. I've
Yeah.
almost burnt my parents' house down a whole bunch of times. That's not even a thing. That's just the part of growing up in the 80s,
Yeah.
trying different things, take the toaster apart, put
Yeah.
it back together.
I was making pizza or something like that, and forgot it. And stupid.
My mother was cleaning, and then the oil from the friteuse totally fell on the ground, and everything got spotted and got on fire too. And it was just after the big cleaning, like for a week we were cleaning the kitchen. It was my mother. I think she was killing us. Now she go out and never want to see you again. Yeah, we really had to run out of the house and things like that. Yeah, but that's really you're working so hard, and then on the end the oil gets out of the friteuse.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
I caught the apple pie on fire this Christmas Eve.
Oh!
Child, just a week ago, I set the oven on fire.
Oh my God.
As I said, I can never be in charge.
Yeah, okay.
Hey,
There
so
must be
learn a
one.
lesson.
Oh my God. And it was smoking and the oven is dinging, right? And so we had to unplug it and stuff. It wouldn't stop dinging. And it was flashing F10. And I just know that that's something bad on the computer.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, they're not going to be able to have Christmas dinner because I broke the oven. Yeah. That was this Christmas.
So you went
That's
for a
not true. You
takeout.
can go to Wawa.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a place in Jersey I used to go for Thanksgiving and Christmas sometimes when I didn't have my kids. It's called Wawa. They have turkey hoagies and all kind of deliciousness when you need it.
It's not real anymore when you really look at it. It's hard to eat.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Christine, Susan, and Jonathan and Gerard with Ancient Knowledge. I don't think we've been here in about 3 weeks or something. An ongoing discussion about all the secrets we've lost. Say good morning, folks.
Hello.
Is it afternoon?
Hello. Good. Happy New Year, all.
Happy fake New Year.
It's New Year.
Yeah, happy fake New Year, whatever.
Happy fake celebrating time.
The Vatican wishes you a happy fake New Year.
Anyhow.
No, seriously, I don't know why, but this whole New Year's was really weird. Like every New Year's Eve is weird for me for some reason, but this year was real weird. Like the air was still and it was all chemtrail foggy and it was just weird.
It was very warm here, like unusual
Really?
warm.
Wow.
It was unusually warm here. And
I could go out in a t-shirt, so I did it like in the middle of January. It was really warm.
I was
But
lucky
anyhow,
with crystal clear skies.
Yeah, but yeah, we are anyhow flooding. We have rain and rain and rain and rain and rain and rain and rain for weeks. So yeah. We will be the first land underwater, I think, Belgium. We will be underwater and then something else will come up on the other side.
You know what? That's a good question. Because I mean, in my world, it's the stupid governments playing with their weather tools. I don't believe in the climates are changing. No, they're being changed. I don't believe that they're going to use, weather tools to make it monsoons for war in Vietnam, and they won't use them to either increase crops or decrease crops and increase food prices. Like, I think governments are always up to something. But question, was there any lines in ancient texts like the Mahabharata about, altering weather? And in fact, I'm even thinking in terms of the Bible. Is this new that, they're playing with weather, or is this something that they did in the past as well?
I do not know. I do not. I don't know. It probably can be, could be, but that I cannot.
The thing
I
about
don't
myth,
know.
the thing about
Because
myth
there
is
were
that
other.
if there were such things, then it's
Greek mythology. They
I
did
would
in
say-
Greek mythology.
I would say it's recast in different language to make it
Mhm.
sound like something else,
Yeah.
which is
And
why symbolism
were
and understanding
floods.
the language of symbol is so important.
Yeah, there were floods in when you talk about the Mahabharata, and then of course Lord Krishna, there was the wrath of a god, and it kept raining, 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 and then Lord Krishna came and he put whole the land upon his two hands, and he made it stop. But I don't know if this is, I mean, that is what really happened, because every change you can see that in that land. But I don't know it was caused by weather manipulation. Could be in that time, because if they were very advanced at that time, because they had weapons we don't still have now yet. So I suppose they could do it then too, but I don't know if they did it.
Yeah.
Well, like, I don't know the specific scientific things, right? But so I know even today, right? Don't they take, like, for you to have lightning, it's like when the electrons and what is it, the neutrons and the positrons, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Saying
Did
it
you
right.
just say Did you say positrons? I don't think that's
She's
a
been
thing.
watching some Star Trek.
Isn't that like from Transformers? What is a positron? No, that's not real, is it?
Opposite. Come on, I know it. I know it's on the tip of my tongue.
What's a positron? No. All right, now you got me. Positron. We need somebody quick. Where's positrons?
Ions, the negative ions and the positive.
No,
Is that right?
no. Stop. No,
Whatever.
we need to answer the question. Where does positrons come from?
My brain.
No, you got it from somewhere. Positrons are a thing. I just think it's fantasy, but it's a thing.
That's
All right, I'm
that's
sorry.
a term on
All right.
Star Trek. It is.
Is it?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Oh, okay, because you recognized it. No, I don't know. I just said it. So you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like there's negative and positive charges in the sky, and that's
Right.
how they like make stuff make it rain and shit, right? Because they you got to just charge one more than the other,
Protons
right?
and electrons. Is
So
that what you think? Protons and electrons?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm not scientific-y. I told you. So
You don't have to be.
So what I'm saying is, back then they had all that ancient knowledge, right? And the sound frequency to move stone and everything.
Oh yeah.
So you would think they
Oh,
would
yeah.
know how
They
to.
know. In the old Egypt time, it is. Jonathan, they said it in initiation. They could.
Yes.
They changed the weather for the crops, but
Sure.
for the benevolence,
Right.
Right.
they did.
And a lot of the times, the gods were given powers over earth and wind and sea and air. And I think all of that is a way of saying just what you were saying, Christine.
Yeah.
That,
So they did, Gerard. Yes. They had
and of course, who were the gods? Well, that's another
Yeah.
question right there.
Right.
Yeah. But they had to. They were civil. Yeah.
People that freed their minds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. Right. Well,
Reptilians.
I've been studying the legends of the legends of Hercules, and that mythology is about how man can become divine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what that whole story is about.
And that's the goal.
So
That's
it's
the
the
goal.
Bible.
What do you
Right.
say?
Exactly.
He said it's a story about a man who could become divine, and I said yes. So is the Bible, right? Jesus was
Yeah.
the man that became divine. Yeah.
But
Right.
this story has hot chicks and no haircuts. That was the key.
I know,
Don't
and
let the
hot
hot
dudes.
chick cut your hair.
Little leather thongs with swords and stuff.
And nobody took baths, and there was no such thing as soap or toothpaste. But no, so it's funny. So the reason I asked the question It's because I mean, that's how my mind works. I think about stuff like that, where it's like, things that are so hard for people nowadays to believe, even though they actually have laws that say, and, that pact that says they won't use these weather tools, making it rain is easy. Making it rain is simply seeding the cloud. And so from a low budget technology perspective, the Mayans had air balloons. Right? They found fabrics that the Mayans actually had fabrics that could, retain gases to allow them to create balloons. So all they have to do is go up and seed a cloud. Like that's not
cloud seeding technology as early as 1800 with the first hot air balloons. They started doing that.
And the Native American, like Geronimo, he used to make sounds at the frequencies of fog, of rain, of sun, so to mislead the enemy. And it's really beautiful written. It was amazing. So he could mislead the army of the Americans to save his people. So he made it rain, who made a lot of fog, so they got lost in their way. These are really stories of Geronimo. He had that capacity to have the same frequency of sound. So he created rain, fog, all kinds of stormy weather.
There's got to be a correlation between sound, certain types of sound frequency, water, rotation.
Yeah.
And it has something to do with anti-gravity as well. Susan, your post the other day about that guy that was talking about the sound frequencies, just brought it up to mind again. And that rotation, was it rotation kind of thing that he was doing with water and submitting it to sound frequencies at the same time, and it forms these beautiful patterns.
Yeah.
There's something in there.
Looks like it's building a brain.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
And they form these beautiful geometric structures, right? I mean, some of them look like snowflakes. You look at a snowflake, a perfect snowflake, and it's just this.
But isn't that what the Japanese guy did? The Japanese guy, he was telling positive things to water, negative things, and neutral things. And he put love in the water, it became very beautiful, and he was holding the water.
Then they gave that water to plants, and the plants are flourishing and thriving. Yeah.
So.
That's why I run around in the greenhouse here naked all the time, singing to the plants, and they just do wonderful.
You got to be naked, though.
You got to be naked. That's Japanese science. You got to be naked. You got to be in your birth suit, original form. So here's the funny thing. So to me, it's just like, so if we.
Remember it was science. Remember, science was just science,
right? Remember when science followed its own rules?
Chinese science, CDC science, dissenter science.
Yeah, black people science, white people science. So,
sorry.
So right. This is why we don't get nice. This is why we can't have nice things. So they've been changing So the human race and science, all people science, has proven that the people could have been changing the weather like they said they were for thousands of years. It boggles my mind that people still believe climate change comes from fossil fuels. It's crazy to me. And I don't know. Well, maybe it's not crazy. It's just maybe people aren't informed and they don't really put two and two together. But the simplest Occam's razor, the simplest thing, if humans have been changing the weather for profit for thousands of years, you can make it rain by actually swooshing a cloud. All you're doing is separating the molecules. You can make it rain with EMF. You can make it rain with cloud seeding. You can make it rain with all different sound frequencies. All you're doing is disturbing the gaseous form of water. So ancient knowledge, which is right on topic, is that if Occam's razor says that if we've been doing this for thousands of years, what are the odds some new industry making some new thing from dinosaur oil is causing the problems, or the government, the powerful people, the lords, the gods, whatever you want to call them, are still manipulating the weather.
They do. They do. Yeah, and I was entering a discussion on Facebook from scientists, and I was telling, they were talking about climate change, and I was telling what we are telling. Yeah, they manipulate it's called geoengineering. Yeah, and because I'm not a scientist at all. Oh my God, the comments I got, and yeah, it's crazy. They're like so much in their narrative, like tunnel vision. No, it is climate change, and this is going to happen. Luckily, there were some people supporting me, but they were all scientists. Can you believe it? I mean, you would think they would more look up this. They would say, but if you're a scientist, you must be curious to other point of views. No, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're and everything. Yeah, we can see it on your page. You're 100% conspiracy. Yeah. So, okay.
If you are a working scientist, the only thing you need are grants and your income, and you're never going to say anything against the people who are providing your grants and that income. And so we know science has been driven by things like religion and profit for the longest time. So, science is devoid of the professional scientists. Like there's science doesn't come from professional scientists. Science comes from experimentation and the scientific method. And I think people have forgotten that. They think that big pharma is using science, and they do, but they don't preach science. They preach profit.
Yeah, Exactly.
If science followed its own rules, we wouldn't have any problems that we're having right now with science. None. If science followed its own rules,
it
followed
because it's not science,
which is basically
exactly.
Method is
we would have we would have free energy.
We'd have a lot more than free energy.
Yeah.
Yes, we would have free energy.
Another point, they were saying, you're crazy, Stephen Greer is crazy. They don't want to say what? He's the most intelligent man on earth. He's
Stephen Greer put together, what was it, 200 inventors that created free energy devices, and they all went to Congress and said, we need you to release our patents. You locked our patents up, and our technologies can free the human race from poverty, starvation, death, end wars. And Congress said, we will not hear we will not have a hearing. And the only reason Congress said they will not have a hearing to release the technology, because if Congress actually hears it, it goes on the record. They don't want on the record that people are discussing classified patents that citizens made that actually could stop American citizens from dying in the streets. That's why I don't do politics. It's all BS now. They're literally happy to let people keep dying so they can maintain their position of power in this murderous world thing that we got going. So no, Stephen Greer isn't crazy. Stephen Greer proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Congress, the Senate, the entire federal branch is complicit in democide, which is literally killing your own citizens and letting them die from hiding things that they actually need. They're not a government. They're a corporation, and it needs to all go the hell away.
Amen. Real people. Seriously, I can't take it.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
I was just telling, because my dog, got real sick. And so I had to take her to the vet, whatever. So she had to have surgery, right? She's 10, so she's old. But so the choice was like $1,400 for surgery, which, I really can't afford, but whatever, we'll do it. And or let her freaking die, which could have took 2 hours, which could have took 2 weeks, 3 weeks. She'd just rot to death from infection from the inside out. Because if I couldn't afford it, that was my choice. And I was like, even though it's a dog, how do you put a price on life? How do you decide that a life isn't worth $1,400? Even if it's only 2 weeks of life. Like, how are we in this? How do we do this for like ever? Why? Because we do this to people. We do this
Yeah.
to people. Like we could do this surgery and you could live another 10 years,
Mhm.
but you don't have 150,000, so go home and die. Like we
Mhm.
do this. That's
It's
crazy.
literally, it's not only it's happening to people. Many people die. Most of them die.
Yeah, that's sad. It makes me want to cry.
But don't go to a hospital. Try to stay out of it. That's very important. Mhm.
Yeah, but seriously, my dog just went through a life lesson because I was like, wow, we really, and God didn't invent money. God doesn't live in money. God, like, you know what I mean? Money
No, he
is
doesn't
just,
care.
yeah.
Jesus hates money. Jesus
Yes.
wants
We're-
Only
nothing to
one, yeah.
do with money. It's so weird that the one thing that pissed Jesus off and made him kirk the heck out
Mhm. Mhm.
was banking and money. And right
Yes,
now,
exactly.
everyone who says they follow him all have bank accounts
Yeah.
and trade money. Every
Yes.
last one of them. And every
The-
last church that professed the things he
Yeah.
talked about all have bank accounts
Yeah.
and are all controlled by money and government. It's just crazy.
The
That's why I don't go to church.
Antichrist. That's what my guru says. That Antichrist. She was also like that. Your money. That's the only time he went super violent was because money. He foresaw it that this will be the end of our civilization. Is the money and the banking and all the corruption. And that's
And
so
that's
they're
why
all
Jesus
on
was
the
mad,
opposite
was
of
because
Christ. Mhm.
money is their savior now. Money is their, like, they'll sit there and lie to themselves. Oh, the love of money is the root of all evil. No, you loving money and in a society that requires you make money to live becomes your savior. That is the root of all evil. That's why God is upset, or Christ was upset, because they knew that was going to separate the people from God. And that's exactly what it did. So who dictates what people do on a daily basis? Banks, debt, bankers. God has nothing to do with most people's daily lives. They go to church for an hour and a half, an hour of the football games coming on Sunday, and the rest of their life they spend chasing and worshiping money. Money is their savior, not Christ.
Yeah, exactly. And that will be their end too. Yeah, it will be. There's no other.
90% of the population's end.
Yeah, really, it is the end of, and I mean, in astrology, they predict good times, kind of. We talked about it, Neptune and Jupiter, but we saw the other side of Neptune and Jupiter in our last. So I don't know. I hope for most people who are truthful, they will get the courage, because you need the courage to do what Neptune and Jupiter says, like the ideal society is community and working together and from a spiritual point of view, from our spirit, not from our ego or emotions, but so, but the opposite of it is when we have the idea and we have all the concepts, but we don't act like it, then it just stays floating in the air, and it will become a big illusion of Maya for people who are falling into the trap of the illusion of the people in power. Anyhow, but I think there will be two kinds of people follow one and people follow the other side.
Oh, wait, did you guys listen to that? Because it makes me think of the time merging thing. Did you guys listen to that video I sent? I forget when I sent it. It was about that he wasn't CIA. He was an ex-military guy, and I think he worked for the Pentagon, and he was talking about how they have that Project Looking Glass, right?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Which a lot of people have heard of, but what nobody talks about is that so what it does is like gives you like they constantly look in the future, right? And it spits out different scenarios for every choice, right? So so like it'll be like, oh well, there's an 80% that this will happen, a 20% that this will be the answer, 10% this will happen, and then that's what they do. They bet on that one and try to manipulate that, right? Well, what they don't tell you is that at one point during the Project Looking Glass,
Yeah.
all the timelines came to a bottlehead. It comes to a
Yes.
point where there are
Mhm.
no other choices. There's only one choice.
Yes.
Right.
That's a
And-
good one.
Yeah, and so it comes to this moment where there's only one choice, and they can't see past that choice.
Yes.
The people running the project or whoever, right? Reptilians.
And that reminds me of the book
I
of
throw it in there.
yeah, and that reminds me of the book. Yeah, and that reminds me. Yeah, it's true, Susan. That reminds me of the book of initiation, where she could not see beyond a point that because she was going to in the wrong direction. She didn't know that.
Right.
So her vision was blocked. The other people could see where she would end to. She could still change if she wanted to, but then something happened and she couldn't. But that's exactly what's going to happen. People cannot see if they can't follow the truth, there's no other choice than become conscious. That's it.
Yeah. Well, the Marine guy said so because he was some kind of predictive statistical whatever person, right? Like I said, I'm not scientific. Anyway,
Yeah.
so so he ran the numbers, right? And no, they kept running them through the computer, and the computer kept spitting out the same thing no matter how many times they tried. So then he had to fact check it. And it was right? Like there's a thing. And he was saying that so they know that humanity's on this waking point, right? And then they don't know, like there's only going to be one choice, right? And he says that he took it as it's not the end of the world, it's the end of their world.
Yes.
You think about it, that's also like the prophecy that you sent from that thing was German guy, and the Hopi prophecy, and the Navajo prophecy, and the prophecy from Passamaquoddy.
From all the scriptures, all the scriptures, yes.
Yeah. And because you know what it also says, references to, that it comes to this point, this precipice point, right? And it's humans and their little tiny mind shitty behaviors that makes the choice of what happens at that bottleneck moment. That's what we're hoping on.
Little tiny, minuscule, self-consumed, minuscule, minute, limp, needing Viagra mindsets. Right? Those little things, those little teeny weens, the little winky dinky, inky dinky minds.
Yeah, most people, what was it? Have the attention of a goldfish, 7 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Goldfish is longer.
Half of
No,
the people
go.
in
It's
like 10 seconds long.
to make a choice.
Yeah.
And I think the goldfish's memory was like 10, 30 seconds or something.
Yeah,
they beat us.
Yeah. Well, what is
Fine.
what does Adam say in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Human beings are only the third most intelligent species on the planet. Beaten out by the dolphins and the mice, I think.
The dolphins and the whales seems to be
Classic.
from higher intelligence than we are. Dolphins and whales.
And elephants too.
Yeah, elephants
Elephants
too.
are
Yeah.
That's why they don't talk to us. It's my personal opinion. They all talk. They just don't want to talk to us.
Yeah.
It's like a useless thing.
Right.
You know why? Because and you can feel it sometimes, right? You know how sometimes you feel inside, like your energy is like this, right? Because it's all chaotic, especially if you live in the Matrix, like anywhere. Like you could not even be on, I don't know, it's terrible. I can't think.
Susan, they were watching the Matrix here, and I said, "See, we are living in the Matrix, Christine. It's just a movie." Can you believe it? I said it's just a movie. So
Yeah.
No, but people don't get it. I didn't get it. We are living in the Matrix. No, Christine, it's just a movie. I know. I cannot. Yeah, it does. It's for me. It's mind blowing. If I don't get it now.
No.
So.
Yeah. I forget.
Why we get what we deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually we do.
Yeah, we do. we do. It's shitty. It sucks. Because it does. Because you know why? Because this world is not set up. Do you know how hard it is to be raised all your life in the Matrix and then have to completely detach from the Matrix? And why? Why can't this be some non-shitty thing where they dive into all your deepest secrets to collect every little thing about you and spy on you and stuff? Why can't this just be actually a cool, fun social media hangout? Why does it have to be evil and corrupt? Why does everything have to be? It's crazy. And then we know it's evil and corrupt. So you know why it keeps being evil and corrupt? Because we know it's evil and corrupt and we're still here. That's why. That's why. Because if we were like, screw you, we ain't using your shit, you ain't making billions of dollars a year, they'd be like, oh shit, we better change our privacy standards. But we're like, oh no, can't be off Facebook for more than 24 hours. And it's true.
Yeah, true. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap.
Because we ignore ancient knowledge. We ignore philosophy.
Exactly.
We ignore, and that really is like the purpose of why you study ancient knowledge, because they've been through all of this before, and they've been through it time after time after time after time, and we keep making the wrong choices over and over and over. And so, the ancients, our ancestors, they write down these stories so we know in the future to not make the same stupid mistakes that they made. But we keep making the same stupid mistakes. And that's why, Susan, that's why we're locked in the Matrix. These dumb ideas like identity, these dumb ideas that, we should worship our captors of Stockholm syndrome, right? We are in Rome. We are all barbarians from all over the world, from all the different tribes, and we're just the 8th generation, whatever we are, and we now embrace our killers. We embrace our rapers. We embrace the economic systems that all of our lands were destroyed and we were captured for. So yeah, we keep repeating the same stupid mistakes because we refuse to listen to what our ancestors were telling us. Plato. Like, what did Plato say about democracy? Like, you literally have people running around this country. They're like, we got to defend our democracy. And I'm like, you idiot. Listen to what Plato said. A democracy always becomes an oligarchy. A democracy is mob rule.
A
democracy is gang rape. Why in the hell would you defend that?
Yeah.
Yes.
John
and then
Adams,
and it takes a revolution to overthrow it.
Right.
John Adams said that democracy's never lasted and it always eats itself from within.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't protect that. That's like a snake.
Yeah. Right.
That's like an experimental shot. It eats you from within. You don't protect that. You get the hell rid of it.
Well, supposedly,
and you don't keep recreating.
A friend of Ben Franklin's, an older woman, asked him right after the Constitutional Convention in 1787. Yep. And she asked him, Mr. Franklin, what have you gentlemen come up for us? And he said, a republic, madam, if you can keep it.
You can keep it.
And that was like 2 days after they came up with the bloody thing.
Wow.
Yep.
So he knew it wasn't going to last.
Yeah.
We didn't try to keep it, Jonathan. And they wrote a law. Congress wrote a law, the Washington, D.C. Act of 1871, that said, we're going to get rid of your republic. You're not going to have a government, and we're going to put a corporation in its place. And we clapped, and we went along with it. And people are still clapping and voting and cheering for that nonsense today.
Yeah.
That's why we get what we get. I'm just waiting on the asteroid. When I see the asteroid, I'm going to laugh. I think it's going to be funny. Like, oh my God, the world's going to catch on here. I'm going to be laughing and cheering like, woo!
Like in that movie.
Me and my birthday suit, get some pasties.
Did you see that movie, Looking Up? Looking Up. Did you see it?
Oh, that was such a good movie. You saw that, Christine?
Yes.
Oh, that was so good. Everybody has to go see that movie.
I saw, except for like the last 20 minutes, I couldn't stay awake. What happened?
Oh,
yeah.
You need to go back and watch it.
Predicting.
Did it hit though? Does it hit? It hits?
Yeah, of course. And you know who escapes?
No, don't ruin it. Make her go watch it again. Make her go to the dollar. Jersey has dollar theaters. Jersey has dollar theaters for movies that are year old. Just make her butt go watch it at the dollar theater. It was so important though. You got to see the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You have really to see the end. Yeah, that was good.
Okay. I wanted to.
And we know we say that all the time. what is happening in the movie, in our ancient knowledge. That is
Yeah.
so.
I don't think I saw that movie. What's it about?
Oh,
Yeah, it's about the you know, the president is for elections, and then there is a meteor coming,
Oh.
and the meteor is hitting to the earth in a
Mhm.
speed, and then a scientist or a scientist, whatever, she says, oh my God, within 6 months the meteor is going to hit the earth. So they tell the president, oh my God, we have to find something to get them out of course, not that it doesn't hit the earth.
Right.
Yeah, and then the president, she's a woman, she doesn't care, and she's more like busy with her image and being popular and things like that. And then there is a businessman. Oh, but on that meteor we have all those minerals we can use for our devices, for our phones, and no, we need that. So they say we can split them in many pieces so it doesn't crash into the earth.
Right.
And so they want to try that, and the people, no, and the others say, no, it will not work, and things like that. But of course, they don't listen. So, and then on the end, of course, the meteor is coming closer and closer, and they doesn't work. They want to explode it in little pieces, but it doesn't work at all. And the people who escape, they escape, the elite, they escape in spaceships.
Of course.
And then 2,000 years later, they end on they find a planet or something, look like Earth. But anyhow, and then the president, she dies by a dinosaurus.
Oh, no, don't say that part. Don't say that part. No. They got to go watch it. That was the best part of the whole movie.
Okay. Right. What's it called again?
You got to see. Don't leave.
Don't look up.
If you're in the theater,
okay.
If you're in the theater, don't leave when the credits. We got to watch part of the credits. I think part of the credits play, right, Christine, and then it showed that last part. You got to see the light. Just watch the whole thing. And that was a horrible spoiler alert.
Okay.
There was a horrible one, but that's okay.
So wait, I'm going to go deeper into the spoiler. Jonathan, wait, right? Because the president, right, is like, oh, a comet will look bad for the midterms, right? So
it's like, how do we use this?
They go freaking on like a news show and tell them and like have a breakdown, like you people are taking this serious, right? And so then you know why it's called Don't Look Up, okay? Because when it finally came into view where you could just stand outside and see it, right? Yeah. They're filming it and they're like, look up, it's right there. All you have to do is look up, right? And so the other side, and they're doing propaganda, and the president's like, they want you to look up in fear. I say, don't look up. So then all the other side people start chanting, don't look up.
Exactly.
Comment with your own eyes, right? So I'm like, yeah, this ain't no cuckoo reference shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. But that's but that's literally.
I have not seen it at all.
Yeah, but that's literally how we are living now. Yes. We are not looking up of our outside. It's literally, but we are. Yeah. That's why we're all gonna die.
Well, so seeing how we did 2 major spoiler alerts after I said let's not do a spoiler alert. It's too late. But it's still worth watching. It still is on Netflix.
Okay.
There's nothing like it. The whole time I'm like sitting there wanting to tell someone in the theater by my damn self, oh my God, that's us. Like it is so us. Everything that happened. I mean, the analogies were endless. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
The Matrix was good too.
I'll go check that out.
Yeah, I saw.
The Matrix had a great quote.
I need to go back and see it again and study it.
Yeah, I need to see the Matrix because I saw half of it, and then I had to go away.
I had to see it twice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see it.
I had to see it twice, but there was a quote in there. In fact, I think I quoted it on Facebook. It was something to the effect of, we make the Matrix hard intentionally, right? Because the harder we make it, the more energy you produce. And it was an awesome quote. And I know I messed it up, but something to the effect of that is actually our society. And that's what Bob Marley said.
And that brings us back to ancient knowledge.
And emotions are easy to manipulate.
I think it's
they intentionally make things hard.
Yeah, the more we manipulate you, the more we make you suffer, or the more we manipulate you, the more we abuse you, the
more energy
for us.
The more you suffer,
energy.
and the more you suffer.
That's why we don't have to be we have to learn to be like in a witness power. Like if we get an emotional state or too much mental, then they have us. That's their power. So that's what we are kind of doing now, or when we read, like you said, Facebook. Oh no! Look what those are doing again. Like, I saw on Facebook from 201 event how they wanted to stop the social media by so-called we are not supposed to know it, and the misleading and the disinformation, and we have to be really strict, and we have to tell them that like really they were like, okay, they know too much. They were really they're a little bit in panic. That was a good thing.
Yeah. It was great. I saw a good movie last night too. I go to the movies now to get my droplets because people are now scared. It was funny. Someone said to me the other day, said, well, you're safe. You're out there in the deserts by yourself and you don't have to deal with what we got to deal with. And I said, oh, no, I go to the movies like 2 times, sometimes 3 times a week. I got to get my droplets, right? Because that's science. You got to move forward with the ecosystem. If everybody's out there getting stuff and making stuff and, you want to go get your piece of it. But I went to go see American Underdog last night, too. That was another good one. Oh my goodness, it was. And I wasn't really interested in the football story, but it was based in a real story, and I love stories of the underdog. I'm the underdog. That story towards the end of it, it had a tear in my eye. It was another fantastic. I don't know why Hollywood's producing good movies now. Maybe it's because I don't want to focus on the real fake world, so I'm just enjoying movies instead of the news and TV and all that bull. But it seems like really good movies are coming out nowadays. I mean, movies with deep messages, if you're willing to look for the message.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's the last time they can do it. We're in the end.
Maybe this is the end. That asteroid is on its way. This is the last year of the humans. This is our last episode, our last season. We're getting canceled.
Look, I'm going to see.
Well, you might be getting canceled, but I'm doing a spinoff called Naked in the Wilderness.
Yeah.
The Lone
Very
Survivor.
important. Very important. That was one of my favorite shows, Naked and Afraid. I would do that, except for there are ants in those jungles, and ants bite things that I don't want anywhere near an ant. I need to have some loincloths and some other things. But that was another good show. I love Survivor shows, but I don't watch them now. I'm out here.
They're fake.
So why would I watch them? They are fake. Like, no, I'm out here. I live about 1,000 feet from a bear, a wolf, or a mountain lion. I don't really need to watch Survivor shows to get my thrills on anymore.
Yeah. I love, because my uncle's like, we were talking about those kind of shows, right? And we're like, yeah, oh, look, she's all by herself, naked, and there's no cameraman there or a bunch of studio people taking pictures or anything. This is all real.
There's a cameraman right there with a sandwich.
Right.
And I guarantee you it's a man, and ain't no man not giving up his sandwich to some naked woman that's out there, because anyway, we won't go there. It's like the fake world we live in. It reminds me of like the whole UNICEF thing. Remember, they used to go to these places like Africa and, and like they're like showing all these starving people. And it's just like, but the news guy is fat. he's got a big bowl of soup and he just refuses to feed those kids. But he's imploring on us to. It's just like, all right, like how did he get there? He flew on an airplane. Like, come on. It ain't cheap to go. You can't just go to India, right? It costs money to get there. So you mean to tell me it makes more sense to get there and film people dying with flies in their ears and mouth and eyes, as opposed to just giving them a check for your airfare? Yeah, it's just a fake world. It's funny as
Yeah, and
kids. I never saw it.
But the good thing is in India, because if you could see, there is one Sam Brokken is from Belgium. He went to India because he was outcast because he was too critical and he could not find a job anywhere anymore because on television he said the truth. So he went to India after a year of having no money, no thing, and he said the people there, they don't follow any kind of rules. And they say, yeah, but you have to take the vaccine. No. They say, God decides when we have to die. It's not the vaccine or whatever. They don't listen, but they say yes, but they don't do any of them, don't follow any kind of rule. Because they're so populated, so you cannot have distance like 6 meters or something like that. You cannot have it because it's all the streets are overpopulated. But they like it because that's just India. And they just do what they want to do. They don't listen. They have no fear at all because that's a good thing. They still believe in God. And they say, no, it's God who decides. If we have to die, we die. If we don't have to die, we don't die. And your vaccine will not help. And in that case, they're so much less fearful than the West, and they don't care. And they have all their ivermectin because the government says you cannot use it, but pharmacies, okay, we can buy it. They sell it under the table. They ask a little bit more money, and they give it to the people. They're really survivors because they are still a lot of people are very poor. But that's why they do what they want to do. The government is saying A and the people do B. And it's like that. And he says, I love it here because they just are not influenced by the media. And no, the media has different points of view. They really have newspapers with all the points of views. There's not just one point of view in India. And if they find out, then they pressure the government. You look what's happened. Those people died from the vaccines. You have to, and they really do that, and they listen. Although it's all about that they bribe a lot, because if you want, you have to pay more money and more money. That's how India trades. If you go to India, you have to learn to go between the bribery, but that's another part of India. But they go that they're really, it's wonderful how they use. How they manipulate actually the pharmacy, because the Modi says to the pharmacy, okay, I will make it a rule of a law. They have to do it. But in the same times, Modi says, whatever you do, I won't see it to these people. And actually, I like it. I mean, so much better. Of course, there's still a lot of poverty, but at least he cares a bit more about these people.
So I want to tie that back for Conan, because he said this is sounding very modern, not very ancient-y. So what we're trying to do here, right, is we're looking at current events, and we're saying, well, how did we get here? By ignoring ancient knowledge, right? And one of the things that was written in a lot of these ancient scrolls were the government's never there to help. The Caesars are never there to help you. The lords and kings are never there to help you. And we forgot that. And so right now we live in a time where there are a lot of people who are dying who don't have to, because you have a lot of very foolish people who actually think the government and the most wealthy corporations are actually trying to help. They're not. And they never will. So that's how you tie it back to ancient knowledge. Mm-hmm. Dang, there we go. All right, we're going to start wrapping it up. That was a 10-second silent break. That was good. I got 12 more minutes and I got to get back to work.
I watched that Wheel of Time, and there was a guy in there, and he was called a gleeman, right? He, like, it reminds you like medieval times, like a bard, like someone in the pubs that just sang a tune or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then he like fights, right? So the guy's like, you're I don't know, whatever, you're pretty handy with a sword for a gleeman, right? And he says, we call ourselves gleemans, so we seem like the fool, because a man who man who remembers history is a dangerous man.
That's well said.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's a good quote. Very well said.
Mhm.
That's who's dangerous.
And that's why they spray us with aluminum. So by the time we're 65, we have early dementia. So we can't tell the younger kids, hey, the government's trying to kill you.
And that's why somebody probably sent a whole bunch of money to Wuhan, China to make something that actually takes out older people with comorbidities that they subsidize also, not just because they don't want to pay for their retirement and pensions, but also because old people are very dangerous people. They remember history. And when they put 2 and 2 together, you know, it makes it obvious that almost all the popular narratives are all BS, you know, but unfortunately, again, we live in a time where we have a lot of adult children walking around. You know, they got adult costumes on, but they're just little children on the inside. They have the intellect of children. And it's a damn shame. We could have nice things, as someone's posted in the room many times. We could have really nice things, and the next generation could have better things.
No, we have a bunch of adults. We have, right? Adult is adult. Adult comes from the word adult, and dolt means moronic, idiotic, stupid, something like that. It means stupid. So the intellect of a child, if we retained our intellect of a child, the world wouldn't be like this, because children aren't cruel like that. Children usually have a very loving, nurturing, want to look out for each other nature.
Right.
Yes.
They
Children are still
8.
Yeah. Children are still wondering. Their mind is wondering. They question everything in a very innocent way.
Yeah.
And that's why they say, become like the children and you will inherit the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
Right.
So
they haven't swallowed the system.
Mm-hmm.
And
children are the closest thing to perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, they're swallowing.
They're the closest. They're the closest thing to perfect that we get, next to being a senior citizen that remembers history. You know, the child doesn't have history, but it has clarity of thought. It's not indoctrinated yet. It's not a Roman yet. It's not indoctrinated for imperialism, which is why we don't have an education system. We have an indoctrination engine, and all it does is crank out kids that refuse to take in the wisdom of their ancestors from thousands of years ago, but they take on the modern BS of the people with the most jewels today.
Teaching little Johnny and little Susie in the schools. Okay, little Johnny, little Susie, what form of debt, wage slavery do you want to spend for the next 60 years? Yeah. That's basically what it amounts to.
It's something that pays well, because you don't want to be poor, because poor people are trash.
Taking us back to money again. Yeah.
George Carlin, when he says poor people are only there to remind the middle class to keep working.
Yep. Well, someone else said it another way. They said that the poor people are there to scare the hell out of the middle class, right?
Yes.
Like that's what
Carlin.
The middle class, because they don't want to be them. But Carlin says, you know what? The last part of my workday, I'm gonna listen to George Carlin. You're right. He said something. He said the only reason the poor is there is to scare the hell out of the middle class.
Yeah.
And that's why they starve the poor.
Yeah, David Chappell also said something like that. I just listened this afternoon to something about he was talking about voting, and then he said that he was like, "Come on, guys, that's good for me." The president, what I chose, because I don't have to pay. I mean, I get all tax cuts.
Yeah.
Because not for you, poor guys. Don't. I mean, something like that. You're stupid to vote. For me, it's okay because I'm rich. But he said it in another way. Very funny.
Yeah, I think he was talking about the tax cuts. He was like, it was great for me. It was shitty for you, though. Yeah, but like I said, that even if we don't technically put a price on life, we do every day in this system. whether we want to say that we do or admit that we do or not. Participating in the system puts a numerical money value on your life, and money isn't even real. And we don't even know the dudes that control the ultimate hub center of banking. You know what I mean? They could literally, they don't have nothing anymore, right? Like no gold or anything to back it. They're literally just sitting there making up whatever reptilian numbers they want to make us all be like these slave things. And like, it's sad. It's really sad because we put like if somebody works 40 hours a week at Walmart, or somebody works 40 hours a week at a CEO office or Mason, none of them should be living in poverty. All of them should be able to have a quality of life, period. If your money is going to base your survival. And so we put money, because if you're poor, you can't take care of yourself. You can't eat healthy foods. And that's stupid, right? Because so poor people are exposed to germs more, right? And don't go to the doctor as much. So they actually have a better natural immune system than rich people that are all clean and spray everything all the time, right? But poor people can't afford real food and rich people can. So it just keeps canceling each other out.
Perfect system. It means the system is actually working. That's what it means. It's like people are like, oh my God, the system's broken. No, actually, that's what it's designed to do. That is, it keeps everyone in conflict, and not the rich, but the wealthy on top. The ones who actually own resources, they always make it. You know, and that's why they get in the spaceship and fly away to the new planet, and then they meet the new creatures from that planet. Don't look up, because we believe in this nonsense.
And every time our asteroid hits, us idiots just zing back into the universe and get judged and zing back into a new life form over and over again. To do this over and over again.
Until we start embracing philosophy, until we start embracing the knowledge passed down to us from the people who actually meant us the most, you know, the people who loved us the most enough that they wrote down in these texts and protected them time after over time, flood after flood, war after war, hid them in caves, wrote them on scrolls, repeated them. The ancient knowledge that we've thrown out that have made us these little silly, immature, clueless little creatures we are today. And that's why we're being farmed. We're in a
and part of that ancient knowledge is giving us the key to stop being reborn here. Stop. You know, being reborn in a shitty condition. Where, I mean, this is a starter planet. There's much better places to go. Not that the Earth is a paradise; it's beautiful, but you know, it's.
I think, there's some books who say that we're going to Uranus after our death. That's where we have to evaluate ourselves. That's what, because that's Uranus is authenticity, and it's totally your true self, and there you can decide where you want to go next. Or if you have that conscious.
There's, you know, if you study the literature from all over the world that talks about this very same thing, I mean, they talk about it in, you know, they use different vocabulary for it, but it amounts to the same thing. Is that there's a control system in place here, and it's designed to, like the quote that you just gave us, Gerard, out of the movie. It's designed to keep you. Your suffering is so intense that you won't think about anything else. You won't think about anything else, and you certainly won't think about, you know, why you know, you're getting, you know, why you're getting fucked over this badly over and over again. You know, and you know, when people are poor or sick or hungry, they're not thinking about any of that stuff. We're thinking about, you know, where our next meal is going to come from, or relieving, you know, whatever illness we have, you know, or going to, you know, work 18 hours a day for, you know, Rockefeller's coal mine, you know, because, and working 6 days a week,
Yeah.
And until
it's how they control us.
That's how we can try until we like take just one step back and say, and look at the whole situation. You know, in the Gospel of Thomas, the second saying is seeking you will find. Don't stop seeking until you find. When you find, you will be. I've got it right here. You will be troubled. When you are troubled, you will be amazed. When you are amazed, then you will rule over the all, meaning freedom, meaning you will be free. So there's, and the book that I'm reading right now says that this is tied in with the natural cycles of the year: winter, spring, summer, and fall. We are reflections of nature, and this the spiritual cycle of birth, growth, maturity, coming to full realization, and then decline and decay and death. The spiritual year is tied in with the physical. It's they're patterns after each other. I'm not explaining this very well, but that what is reflected in nature is reflected within us through our growth and transformation. That is certain. And when we come to realize that, we have so much more that we are capable of if we just step back and start looking and start pursuing knowledge, because knowledge is out there. No, the human race doesn't give a shit about knowledge. The human race doesn't give a shit about knowledge, but human individuals can claim knowledge and pursue knowledge, because knowledge is out there. All we have to do is do the work, and anyone can do the work as long as we step out of the rut that we're all in, the daily rut that we're all in.
But first comes that knowledge. So
knowledge is there.
Wrap it up, and that's going to be my last comment. But first comes that knowledge. You have to know what the actual problem is before you take any action.
Right.
Your actions are going to be self-defeating and pointless until
and that's why we have to study ourselves.
And so, part of why we repeat this cycle is because we don't know what to do. We don't listen to our ancestors. We do knee-jerk reactions, and the system is designed to profit from our knee-jerk reactions to keep the cycle going.
Yeah.
We need to know what to do. Now is a time for philosophy. Now is a time for ancient knowledge. And that's the only way we're going to then take action and actually break the cycle.
It's always been the way out of here. Yeah.
Last comments.
I watched Sadhguru saying that a couple days ago, right? And I'll send it because it's really good. But he was saying that, okay, so like stuff or whatever, right? And he was saying, but like I don't know is the leaves you open to endless possibilities. Like once you know something, then and there's nothing left to go further. But if you don't know, and like he was talking about water, right? And like you know what it's made up of, the chemical structure, whatever. He goes, but what is it? What is water? And none of us really know what water is. Water's never told us what it is. You know what I mean? Like we really don't know. And but he was also saying too that so when you seek for God, right, you're really just seeking for the creation of life, the creator of life, right? And he was saying, if you, what is it? Oh, and the creation of life is within you, right? So if you don't ever realize that, I don't know, I'm going to fuck it up, so I'm not going to say it.
Probably it will be good. Yeah.
But whatever.
But he can tell. Yeah. But Sadhguru keeps a lot secret too, because he can tell much more.
Yeah. And
my guru is more openly. It's my. He knows. I feel he knows much more. He keeps it to him, and I don't like that sometimes. Say, why don't you tell first? Because you know this. Because people should know, and that's what my guru said. The guru should know. All his knowledge has to be told to the people, because people need to be free.
Yeah, and he's like gone mainstream and he does weird shows and shit now. And for me,
He was
I feel
hurt.
like wouldn't he pick up on bad vibes and be like, I shouldn't go here?
Yes.
But besides that, he also was like, I don't know, he said something about vaccines or something.
Yeah, true. Yes.
Way.
Yeah, but he makes us confused, and that's the wrong side of him, because he does do that on purpose.
Yeah.
But if you see that,
Well,
you
he
take
has
out
a-
what you want. That's just
he has a popular voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a popular voice, and if you don't say those keywords the corporations require, you'll never keep a popular voice. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and appreciate your time, Christine, Jonathan, and Susan. This is Gerard, and this was Ancient Knowledge. You guys have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.